kid, about 6 or 7. I was with my dad and we were just randomly flipping through the television and we came upon SmackDown. And I saw this little guy wearing a mask who stood maybe 5'4", taking on these giants. And as a kid, that really stuck with me, that, you know, this is your chance. You can be more than just the little guy. You can be the hero, you can be the villain, you can be whatever you want.
I was a huge fan growing up, big wrestling fan growing up, watched with my dad. I wanted to be a wrestler, watched the cruiserweights, watched Chris Jericho, all the smaller dudes, and wanted to do it, they were my real life superheroes, wanted the chance to get in there, do it myself, do it for real.
I've always wanted to do this since diapers, and it took them 3 days to get me out of the ring. So I came back to Arkansas and started training.
That's what I've always wanted to do. I've always loved pro wrestling, always watched it. Me and my mom and dad, it was always, our bonding time was watching wrestling, and I fell in love with it.
Life happened, went to college, did the whole thing, just kind of forgot about it, but dream was always kind of there, and found out through a friend of a friend that Space Cowboy was training wrestlers, and decided went to it to give it a shot,
I broke into business in the late 90s. I was actually still in high school, and I just broke in. A local promoter came to town, and I was like, hey, I want to help out. I helped them sell programs. I helped run the music, and that was back when the guys, before they even brought their music on CD, they brought it on a cassette tape. So anything I could do to get my foot in the door, and then I started actually training. And something that the old timers said to me was, make sure that you're always learning, and if you have a vast knowledge, pass that on to the next generation so they can keep this thing going. And that's what we do here when I train guys. Not just training guys, but training them the right way and training them the basics of pro wrestling. Then they can develop that persona on their own and get them out there and be accepted and work at any wrestling company in the world if you know the basics and you know how it's done properly.
My ultimate goal is hopefully to do this for a living at some point in my life. I would like to do that. I'd like to be able to provide for my family. And I know that's a tall order to do. At the moment, I work my full-time job, doing 50, 55 hours a week. And whatever chance I get, I try to come down here and learn from JJ.
I never thought that my skill or style would ever be accepted here. And it forced me to get on the phone and to get on the social media and to contact Jason and to be humble and ask if these guys would accept me to come here and train. And I was very pleased that they were more than accepting. A nice brotherhood here. I'm getting a little bit choked up, so forgive me.
Got maybe 30, 40 matches under my belt, I guess. So yeah, still getting going, still early, still beginning, and so that's how the whole quarantine thing, this COVID really messed that all up, man.
Well, I took a black marker to my calendar this year and just started slashing the dates that we've, had to mark off.
At the beginning, it was like a total upward trajectory, and everything great that could happen was happening. Like the month that the shutdown happened, I just won my first championship, and then just like that, it's gone. So it's probably the worst timing possible for me. So that's the biggest impact it had on me, was just frustration.
Well, I was destroyed whenever I found out, because I was doing other stuff too outside of this that kind of contributed to my training. And after the COVID took everything away from me, it just completely destroyed me, and I went through a little depressed problems, and kind of trying to get back from that was really hard for me to do.
When it first happened, it was like, okay, this is kind of weird. Okay, I understand. Oh yeah, well, it'll be gone in a month or two. Well, 2 months went by, 3 months went by, 4 months went by, and it really started to sink in. What if I never get to do this again? And it hurts.
Then all of a sudden, there were no more trips to make. Nobody could wrestle. You couldn't do anything anymore, and that derailed everything. Didn't know when you'd be able to get back in, and it's definitely a thing that if you don't lose it, you're going to lose it. And so it's been tough, but
no, we did have 5 sellouts, and we were on our way to our 6th, and then this happens, and so a building that we're used to selling out at 500 people, they say, hey, you can put 110 people in here. That includes wrestlers, people popping popcorn, the girls working the front door. there's no meat on the bone. We would go in even selling that out. We're going to lose money at that point.
There's a silver lining to this.
Jason took the extra steps. He wanted to make sure we had a place to work. You know, we do the temperature checks. We, do the social distancing. We stay home if we're feeling sick. If there's any precaution, doing everything we can to just get some work in. And this is keeping the rust off, man. This is
You
it.
can't stop, because the minute you stop is when you give up. You lose once you stop. So the fact that we're still training shows that we still have hope that eventually things will be back and we'll be able to run shows again and sell out like we were before.
But coming here and training, everyone taking precautions, everyone washing our hands, doing temperature checks, all that, it makes me feel at ease that there is wrestling during and after this pandemic.
I've had live matches, which is just amazing. It's all icing on the cake from this point
We
forward.
just have to play ball and keep our head up and just be optimistic and make sure that we're training the guys that are ready to go. So when we do get that green light and we're ready to rock and roll, these guys are going to be ready and waiting for you. They hadn't just been sitting at home eating Cheetos, and playing quarantine. No, they're here. They're putting the work in. They want you to know they're getting better. They're getting better every week. They're doing their homework. They're getting better every week. So when we are a go, you got the top-notch talent right here.
I trust everyone here with my life. I know that they're not going to come here when they're sick. They're not going to put me or my wife or my little baby boy in danger. It's family.
I literally grab hold of my butt with both hands and I ride it as far as I possibly can. I know my time is limited. I've been grateful in that Jason has showed me some more expanded aspects of the business. There's an incredible level of polish here that I try to absorb like a sponge. So where is it going to take me? To be continued.
You can't lose if you never give up.